Hi everyone, I'm Shelly from There's No Place Like Home at redheadmom8.wordpress.com. Today I wanted to share with you my idea for the perfect pre-kindergarten curriculum. You might be surprised. Okay, I said that you might be surprised, but if you have been to my channel before, you likely will not be surprised at the outcome of this video. But I want you to picture what you imagine as the perfect pre-kindergarten or preschool curriculum, because I know that is something that parents of very young children who are looking into homeschooling very often are out there trying to find exactly what it is that their little 3 or 4-year-old needs, sometimes even 2-year-olds. And so what I want you to imagine is a curriculum that is filled with laughter, that is filled with exploration, that is filled with creativity, getting their hands dirty, getting messy from time to time. A curriculum that is filled with lots of playtime, lots of family time, even with extended family, and lots of time running errands with mom and dad. Do you know where you can find this curriculum? Life. That's right, life. There is no reason necessary for very, very young children who are 3, 4, and even 5 years old to have an extensive homeschool curriculum. And I know that there are curriculum writers out there right now who are like doing this to me because they don't like to hear me say that. But you know, I have been doing so much research for years into this. And you know, I could go on and on with you about how very young children learn best through play, but I've talked about that so many times. And I think that most people instinctively know that very young children learn best through play. They learn best through imitation, and they don't do so well with sitting down at desks doing worksheets. But we live in this society nowadays where people are pushing these things on their young children because they feel like they have to. I mean, think about it. How often do you go out places and everywhere that you turn, you see advertisements for early childhood education, for preschool enrollment, pre-K enrollment. I went past a billboard the other day that was saying that they were accepting applications for an academy and they take children as young as 6 months old. An academic academy that takes babies. And so, you know, I just really wanted to get this information out there for people who might not know this. Your kids do not need to start doing schoolwork so early. Pre-kindergarten and actually kindergarten, they're both government inventions designed to begin training children to conform early. There's no other reason for it. One thing that has really come out of compulsory schooling is what people like John Taylor Gatto call extended childhood. So years before compulsory schooling, children who were as young as like 12, 13 years old were actually educated so much better than our kids nowadays are, with maybe 2 years of school at best. And they were out there doing actual work, doing actual meaningful work. And I'm not talking about factories or mills or things like this. You know, that all happened after compulsory schooling where all these factories and everything set in. I'm talking about, you know, kids who were out there working with their families on the farm or working at the trades with their families, and they actually had a meaningful existence. But compulsory schooling has been stretching out childhood longer and longer and longer, you know, and they are now keeping kids in school for up to 18 years of age. That it's compulsory in some states that kids have to be there unless they graduate before that. And what you're also seeing is that they're pushing school earlier and earlier and earlier. You know, it used to be that a child might go to school from the age of 9 to 11. And now, you know, in Pennsylvania, they just dropped the compulsory school age from 8 to 6. And I'm fully expecting that they're going to make it younger in the future. But, you know, on top, besides compulsory school age, there are parents who are feeling guilted into putting their very young children in pre-K because they don't want their kids to be set back in life. And I'm going to tell you that there are studies that kids who went to pre-K and kids who did not go to pre-K, yeah, maybe in like kindergarten and first grade, there might be a little bit of difference between the two, but by third grade, there is absolutely no difference in the abilities of kids who have been to pre-K and who have not been to pre-K. And in fact, those children who have been in pre-K tend to have more behavioral problems. Think about that. So why, you're wondering, are they wanting this extended childhood? You know, I mentioned it earlier. It's about pushing children to conform into the way of thinking that is easiest for the government to control. That is really what it is about. So the longer that the government has their hands on the kids and has their hands on the kids, is that what I just said? Has their hands on these children, they are better able to socially engineer these kids into the way of thinking that they want them to. And you know, way back, a lot of really bad things happened at the beginning of compulsory schooling. But what a lot of people actually started to think was that they wanted to get rid of the natural idea of parents raising their kids, which is natural. They wanted to do away with natural parenting, and they wanted children to be reared in a scientific fashion. And in that scientific fashion, they wanted experts to be raising these children. And that's how you get this whole idea of technocracy nowadays, where people think that they need experts for everything, not just when it comes to children and not just for school, but in every facet of life. People feel completely helpless doing anything because they feel like only experts can do everything. But even if you do go back to this whole idea of children, you know, parents have absolutely no confidence in their own God-given abilities to raise their children anymore. And it's because we have had generations of kids being raised in this scientific manner by experts, those teachers in school, and we have forgotten what it really is to be parents. And in the words of John Taylor Gatto, you know, the school system, the way that it is now, is actually dehumanizing us. And so what I want you to understand is that, you know, the elite and the utopian thinkers, they want people trained so that they are as dependable as machines. That was actually their way of thinking. They wanted people trained so that they were as dependable as machines. What are a couple things that come to your mind when you think of machines? Well, one thing that comes to my mind when it comes to machines is that they are predictable. Another thing that comes to mind when I think of machines is that they don't think for themselves. And those are two qualities that, yes, those were two of the qualities that they wanted to instill in children through the government education system, not by teaching them academically, not by filling their minds with things that are going to keep them engaged and wanting to learn all the time. This was all about training a populace that would behave a certain way to make things easier for the powers that be. So, you know, I know you probably weren't expecting this in this video. You were probably expecting some fun curriculum that I was going to throw out to you. But I think that it's important that parents hear this. You're being manipulated. You're being guilted into doing something that your children honestly don't need. Now, if you want to do fun activities with your little ones, you know, by all means do it. It's fun, and you should do fun things with your kids. Read to them. Paint with them. Take them for walks. Let them collect pine cones. Let them play in the creek, you know, wade around looking for tadpoles. Take them on errands with you. Sing to them. Read to them. Do all sorts of fun things with them, but don't ever feel like, as a homeschooling parent, that it's absolutely necessary that you have your 3- and 4-year-old sitting down at a desk doing a curriculum every single day, and that it's something that has to be done whether they want to or not. Please, your kids don't need that. If you know anything at all about children, you know that especially at this age, especially at this very young age of like 2, 3, and 4 years old, children are so exploratory. They are so inquisitive. They are little scientists, and you really don't need to do much to get their little brains working. They are constantly absorbing things from all around them. And what do you notice, though, with so many other kids? When does that curiosity seem to click off in children? Very often that curiosity clicks off once they start to go to school. And I want you to think about why that might be. Anyway, that's all that I have for you today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet and would like to hear more of what I have to say, I would love if you would do that. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave one over on Instagram, because YouTube always disables my comments. And if you like my work and would like to check out my Patreon page, I will leave a link in the description box for that as well. And today I would like to give a shout out to my Patreon patron, Denise. Denise, you are one of my newest patrons, and I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I hope that you're enjoying the unit studies. I hope that you're enjoying the book lists, and I really, really appreciate all the support that I get from all of you, and I hope you have a great day.